Most people panic the moment they hear one of their planets sits at 29 degrees, the very last degree of a sign, one step from the next, because it usually gets introduced as a warning. Unstable, chaotic, cursed. Astrologers have actually studied this exact degree for centuries, and it's called the anaretic degree, or the critical degree. It's not a flaw in your chart. It's the one placement working overtime to finish something before it's allowed to move on. Every sign spans 30 degrees, 0 through 29, and a planet sitting right at that final degree is standing on the threshold of a completely different sign, energy, and set of rules, but hasn't crossed over yet. Ancient and modern astrologers alike have noticed the same pattern show up again and again. A planet at 29 degrees behaves like it's rushing to wrap up unfinished business in its current sign before time runs out, which can look like urgency, obsession, or a recurring sense that one specific area of life never quite feels finished. It's not because that planet is broken. It's because it's the most concentrated, most mature version of that planet's energy in the entire zodiac. 30 degrees of experience compressed into one single, intense degree. Left unexplained, people with a planet at this degree often describe the same area of life as feeling permanently urgent, like a deadline that never actually arrives. A 29-degree Venus might mean relationships always feel like they're racing against a clock. A 29-degree Mars might mean anger or drive shows up in short, intense bursts instead of a steady simmer. Without knowing the degree, people usually just conclude something is wrong with how they handle that part of life. Comment which planet you think might sit at 29 degrees in your chart, and I'll tell you what it's rushing to complete. The fix starts with actually checking your chart for any planet sitting between 29 degrees 0 minutes and 29 degrees 59 minutes. Free birth chart calculators show exact degrees, not just signs. Finding one there doesn't mean something is wrong. It means that planet is holding the most distilled, high-stakes version of its energy anywhere in your entire chart, and it has spent an entire sign's worth of experience getting there. Then read that placement as unfinished business instead of instability. A planet at the anaretic degree is usually asking you to resolve, master, or release something specific in its domain before you're allowed real ease there. A 29-degree moon might mean emotional patterns from earlier in life keep resurfacing until they're actually addressed, not just managed. Once you treat the urgency as a task with an actual finish line instead of a permanent personality flaw, the pressure usually starts making a lot more sense. A woman I'll call Priya has Mercury at 29 degrees Gemini, and for years she assumed her constant mental restlessness, juggling 5 ideas at once, unable to let a conversation end without one more point, was just how her brain worked. She'd burn out cycling through the same worries at 2 in the morning, convinced something was wrong with how she processed things. Once she found that placement, she recognized it as Mercury desperately trying to finish learning everything Gemini could ever teach it before crossing into Cancer's quieter, more emotional communication style. She stopped fighting the restlessness and started actually finishing the thoughts instead of collecting new ones. Priya didn't need to slow her mind down to feel normal. She needed to recognize that her Mercury was compressing an entire sign's worth of mental exploration into its final, most urgent degree. What changed is she stopped treating the restlessness as a flaw and started treating it as exactly what it was: unfinished business asking to be completed, not managed forever. That's the entire shift a critical degree offers, from a permanent, confusing pressure to a specific, nameable task with an actual endpoint. If this just explained a part of your life that always feels urgent for no clear reason, like this video, comment which planet you think sits at 29 degrees in your chart. This is Shadow Work, the series that names what's actually underneath a pattern, not just the surface trait everyone already knows. Subscribe if today's episode explains something your birth chart alone never could.